Welcome to our demonstration of Permit Pal, a new way to look at building permits in the Atlanta area, whether you're in the office or on the go. Permit Pal has permit data going back 2 to 3 months, and it varies from week to week. We add new data on a weekly basis into the Permit Pal product. As you can see, you have a map that shows Atlanta in the center, and then down below we have various icons that represent different types of permits that have been purchased. Below that we have a geographic search, the ability to select directions, and some markers lists. We'll get into the rest of that very shortly here. First thing I want to do when I open it up is when it gets to the 0 markers here, we want to click on, let's say, multifamily apartments. And it'll take a moment to go through the data, and as you can see, the map will recenter and zoom in based on where the markers are and how many markers there are. Each one of these represents one facility or one permit that's been issued. When you look into these, there's 232 that have been issued up in the Canton area, and there's an additional 69 in this territory down in Atlanta. We can drill in and see those markers individually, as you can see just by clicking on it. It'll zoom in and it'll keep running itself down to the point where we get 57 there, but as you can see, it's subtracted. We have a total of 308 markers on the map right now. Now I can throw into that additional product. So let's say we wanted to see if there's any daycares in the area that are being built, as well as those. And we can see there's a daycare over here in Mableton. Now, one of the interesting things you can do is when you see that, and when you hover over it, it'll show you the address. When you click on the marker, it'll take a moment to load, but it will show you the information connected to the permit. The scope, the project, what type of project it is, the value, the size of the project, and what the permit number is. You can also get driving directions here, and we'll get into that in a little more detail later, as well as the project. Now I can get further information by clicking on the marker, on the link in the balloon. That'll open up a new window, and it'll have all the information that we have in our database regarding that. You can also leave comments to yourself about the various products. Now that's opened in a new window, so I simply close that window and I'm right back at the map where I was. Okay, and that basically shows you, now let's say we're not interested in daycare anymore, so we'll turn off the daycare marker. And you can see there was only one. It took us down to 308. I can turn off multifamily use. I can click on mixed use, for instance, and it'll show me there's a total of 2 markers. There's one that I can probably zoom out to, but in any case, you kind of get the idea here. Now, I also have a menu selection up here of last 14 days permits. This is a totally separate map. It has the same data, but as you can see, everything's marked new. And all the markers and all the data that's available in this map is within the last 2 weeks. So now let's take a look and say new mixed use. So this will show me anything that's come within the last 2 weeks. Or if I click on, let's click on a couple of them, maybe a new gas and convenience store. And yeah, as you can tell, I've got 2 new gas and convenience store permits that have been issued within the last weeks, or not necessarily issued, but that we've confirmed and put into the database. This one happens to be a Quick Trip. It's over on Briarcliff Road in Atlanta. And again, I've got the scope and the directions, and from this map I can also click on the link and it'll take me to the full information on that piece of data. Now I also have a directory link, and the directory, when I click on it, it's going to give me a full listing. And let's say I wanted to find that Quick Trip. So I can type in quick, and it'll pull up more of them, but I just wanted to pull one real quick here. And it'll show me that it's Project Quick Trip, and it'll give me a different address because this is obviously a different one. Or I can look by construction company. We'll just pick one at random, let's say Borg. And it'll show me there's 2 projects that Borg Construction has. And let's click on one of those, and it will take me back to that. Now, let's go back to our all permits, because there's another piece to this that you haven't seen yet. When you're on the road, if you're on your tablet or on a phablet, either an iPad or an Android or any type of mobile device, whether it's Windows, BlackBerry, you can click on the Locate Me button. Now it's going to ask me if I want to share my location, and I'm going to say yes. And it's going to try to find me on the map. Now I'm using this at home and I don't have GPS. If I have GPS, it'll find it, but it's going to put me where my IP address is centered on this demo. And let's see if we can find some markers. Yes, here's some markers within the territory where I'm at. I can click on that marker, and again, it'll come up and it'll draw a circle. And I can enlarge that, and that'll be my search radius. It'll change the zoom on the map, and I can move that around to anywhere. And we're back over in our territory here. Again, if you're on a tablet or a mobile device, it'll utilize the GPS that's in the device. Now it'll also show you where you're centered on here. You could type in a city, like let's say Conyers, Georgia, and let's give it a radius of 5 miles. So it's going to give me Conyers, Georgia, and now let's see if we have any multifamily apartments in that territory. I don't see any multifamily. Let's try some condos or a single-family home. And there's 9 single-family homes. Actually, there's more than that. There's 17 single-family homes. Let's just pick one at random here. And I want to go into directions, and I want to say from. And if I click on that little logo there, again, it's going to ask me if I want to share my location. I'm going to say yes. It'll take a moment because it's got to pull the data. And now it's put in the data, or using my GPS data, where I'm located. I can click on Get Directions, and it's going to zoom back out, and it's going to show me the route. This is where I'm centered at. This is my endpoint. And if I scroll down, I've got turn-by-turn driving directions within the application itself to get me where I want to go. And this will show you what the address is. There are many more features to this product, but I want to keep this demo kind of short so that you can get a general idea. If you have more questions, please contact your sales representative at New Business America. Thank you for your time.